866.
On Saturday, the Hajj Ministry announced that it, quote, has authorized 1 million pilgrims, both foreign and domestic, to perform the Hajj this year, unquote. According to the National, pilgrims traveling from overseas are expected to constitute 85% of the total number. In 2021, Saudi authorities significantly reduced the number of pilgrims allowed in order to combat the spread of coronavirus, a very responsible health thing to do. In 2020, only 1,000 pilgrims were permitted to participate. In 2021, the number was 60,000. In both cases, I think almost entirely domestic. So this is great. Getting back to normal, 1 million pilgrims, very exciting. And anyway, go ahead. That's good. This is good news.
No, it is awesome news. And there's a lot of wrinkles here. When we decided to do this, I sort of looked at the Hajj being canceled over time. The coronavirus pandemic was not the first time. One scholar says it's been canceled about 40 times throughout the history of Islam due to disease, outbreaks, political disagreements, and battles. Obviously, the coronavirus pandemic is the most recent, and it's really the only time it's been canceled recently. The other wrinkle of this, and we've talked about it a little bit on the show as well, Richard, is the sort of crass financial angle of this. And the Hajj is, you don't want to say it's big business, but with so many people traveling to Saudi Arabia, it generates a lot of inflows of capital for the kingdom.
It is big business.
Yeah.
And Saudi Arabia spent a lot of attention to trying to make the Hajj experience better, not only the actual mechanics of performing the Hajj, but enticing pilgrims to stay longer.
Mm-hmm. And they put safety first. I mean, we've talked about that as well. It's, that was not an easy decision to walk away from what is estimated to be $6 to $8 billion a year in revenue from the Hajj that Saudi Arabia gets. So
it's a good point, and I hearken back to what I always say about Saudi Arabia's management of its natural resources, oil in particular, and that they've invested billions and billions of dollars to be able to continue to produce at high levels. This was not just a health decision. It was a health decision that overrode, if you want to be honest, every economic bone in someone's body, and says, look, we're giving up so much money by doing this, but it was the right thing to do. And as they've handled with the pandemic, as they've shown in other areas of it, they've done the right thing repeatedly.
70% of visitors for the Hajj each year come from overseas. It's really a fantastic Wikipedia page and internet deep dive because it's the largest annual human migration in the world. It's astounding that they can handle 1 million people coming over a very short span of time. I mean, just out of the gate, the airports need to be able to handle it. The local transportation, housing, food, water, everything it is impressive.
And it should be remembered, and Hajj has gotten up to 2.5 million, the mm-hmm. Hajj itself. This is a short span of time. But there's also the Umrah, which are pilgrimages that you can make year-round to Saudi Arabia. So Saudi Arabia is actually dealing, I think, with something like 5 to 7 million pilgrims every year. Not just the Hajj, but mm-hmm. pilgrims coming year-round. And they take the custodians of the two holy places. It's extraordinarily important to Saudi Arabia's self-image and what they think is that they are responsible for. So they take it very seriously.
It's so important, in fact, that they have their own ministry, as you mentioned in your blurb. I mean, there's a minister of Hajj and Umrah for Saudi Arabia, and it's also interesting to see how Mecca and Medina have changed, even just over the last few years. I mean, they've turned into massive metropolises, but have still kind of honored like the Grand Mosque. It's still very holy, and but if you look at photos of it now, I mean, it's I guess the Mecca Clock Tower is the third tallest building in the world. I mean, it's just insane. So
just in the interest of journalistic ethics, there's plenty of people who have criticized Saudi Arabia for overbuilding it. Mm-hmm. And anytime you have this kind of urban transformation and this kind of construction, people are going to be upset. Things are lost. Things are not, socially or culturally sensitive. So there's criticism about this. Mm-hmm. It is really grown up, and it's really blown up, and they have grand plans for it. But there's critics for sure.